Sheila. Now we have John Pinchman.
Thank you. This is a new poem, and it starts with the quote which inspired it. The innermost life. To Herman Melville, 1819 to 1891. When reaching far over the bow, Stubbs slowly churned his long, sharp lance into the fish and kept it there, carefully churning and churning, as if continuously seeking to feel after some gold watch that the whale might have swallowed, and which he was fearful of breaking ere he could hook it out. But that gold watch was the innermost life of the fish. Herman Melville, Moby Dick, 1851. Stubbs' gold watch is a metaphor in my favorite novel. But my gold timepiece is real and inspired a poem my voice launched into the ether last October, and out of the blue helped me hook out some Kushla slam gold from a whale of a competition. Over 20 of us, a stove boat, even if the first of only 2 lances missed. And then, in January's withering cold, after previous rejections, a revival followed. Number 14, The Watch Anchored on Paper. And together, these first landmarks helped a graying ex-teacher navigate Limerick's churning sea of creativity here on a canal lock leading to the Shannon. In his early 20s, Melville sailed from New Bedford before the mast on a whaling ship, a Cushnet. Vital years unfolded, rich in experience, which started him writing, in turn leading him to an 18th century farmhouse in the Berkshires where he faced an epic struggle. 18 months, often 12-hour days at his desk in creative fervor and despair, the poetry often running as hard as sap from a frozen maple tree. Until finally, and at the age of only 32, Moby Dick was launched to mixed reviews. 40 years later, at the age of 72, its creator died in great distress and need, virtually forgotten, his books out of print. 30 more years passed. Then, an age of disillusion and doubt found solace in the dark, uneven chaos of his whaling saga, its mix of moods, the rich language, digressions, and the classic confrontation between a man and a whale, which of course was so much more than that. And its author's reputation, like Ishmael at the end, clinging to a coffin in a strangely becalmed ocean, gained deliverance. And thus began the Melville revival in the 1920s. My modest revival continues apace, a poem at a time, with more promised at the end of this memorable year, edited by a seasoned poet in his 20s. The 20s seem good for Yanks who write. And now, the masterpiece of world literature sails vividly on as when Ahab, burning for revenge on the creature that took away not just his leg, gathers the ship's company, holds up a bright doubloon for the man who first cries, "Whale ho!" sighing the white mountain of Moby Dick, and with the top maul hammer, he strikes against the mast the gold for all to see on the nail. There is still gold on the nail. Yes, his vast oceans may mock my canal, river, lake. My harpoon pen seeks not a white whale, but filled white pages. An ex-teacher, Ishmael, unfolds the story, and I have a voice which delights in setting my failed crafts adrifts into the air as well, fittingly, as poetry must never remain in a paged harbor, whatever the joys of seeing it first land there. Oh, ever young Melville, you are Ishmael, last survivor of the Pequod. We still weather the untrustworthy seas of our lives. Gathered here tonight at the water's edge, crossing the Locke Bar, teach us how to make our words sing as clear, as moving as your mighty possessed Ahab, and may each of the hopeful in front of this thin, echoing mast gain safely shores enough out of the gales to find and then express with a unique voice like you the gold most worth seeking, the soul's innermost life. Thank you.
This is my first attempt at a translation, and I discovered very sort of early on that it's not just about converting words from one language into another. It's about converting the feeling and the flavor of the poem, more importantly, from one language to the other. This is a translation from an Afrikaans poem by the poet N.P. van Wyk Locke. Just to put it in context, he lived most of his life in a very dry area, almost desert. And it's quite a short poem. It's about a guy, a girl, and a bit of alcohol. It's called Ballad of the Night. The buds of love blossomed, then died, in the minutes and hours before the dawn. Now, smothered by the morning's light, I sit half sober and forlorn on cold, unfamiliar steps, somewhere staring at nothing but the polished wares on the door of a place I thought would be a fountain for the deepest thirst in me. At 11, you were nothing. At 11, you and nothing more was all I could thirst and hunger for. Frivolous in that party hat, me watching your every this and that as you drifted here and there across the floor. At midnight, you were a bridge of light, splitting pain and death apart, a dangerous path traversing the heights above my smouldering tempestuousness. At 1, your hair was an evil snare for my trembling fingertips. Your body held the mystery of a calm, dark sea, your every breath a lover's sigh to me. Morning has spilled me onto these steps from the rim of her stale, dark glass, to suffer the hour of my darkest thirst near the wellspring behind polished glass.